Oh, okay, we working. My nose is itchy. I don't know if I'm sick or. Oh. So this is what I've resorted to, or this is what I've gone. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not a bottom. Maybe it's a top. Maybe I'm finally trying to push myself or drag myself into a better frame of mind. I gotta think. I gotta stop thinking that this is me at the bottom. Me at the bottom was 4 a.m. in the morning throwing up absinthe and calamari about 10 years ago. And then ending up getting electroshock therapy. Could be worse. That was 10 years ago. Have I made progress? I don't know. I'm still here. Maybe that's progress.
When the factor of awakening energy is present in oneself, one is aware energy is present in me. When energy is not present in oneself, one is aware energy is not present in me.
What does this mean?
One is aware when not yet born energy is being born, and when already born energy is perfectly developed. 4. When the factor of awakening, joy, is present in oneself, one is aware joy is present in me. When joy is not present in oneself, one is aware.
I remember being present in joy one time. She wasn't too happy about that.
Not yet born joy is being born.
But in my defense, we were both drunk at the time. Alexa, stop. That was a bad joke. See, this is why I need Buddhism. I need to be a better person, be a more calm person. And the world is just spiraling in my mind. Some people probably are gleeful, but it's watching a successful beer hall putsch. I feel like I'm in Germany in 1932 watching Hitler take over. It might not be that bad yet, but I'm telling you, it does not look good. And that guy Stephen Miller, my God, he looks like Goebbels. And they put that guy Pete Hegseth in charge of the military. He's a drunken rapist. I mean, how many testimonies do they have to get from women that are in hiding? They don't even want you to know where they are. They're terrified. Yeah, here's $50,000. Don't tell anybody that I raped you. And this is the person. I figures Trump would do something like that. This is who's in charge of the world's most powerful military, and people wonder why I'm going nuts. Oh, and then there's Kirsty Noem in charge of Homeland Security, the puppy shooter. Let's not leave her out. You know that I guess that his affirmative action is to promote a feminist like Kirsty Noem who gets angry and shoots helpless puppies when she's angry. This is in charge of our country, and what am I going to do? Am I going to go out in the street with my walker and my cane and my laxative? If only that were the problem. With all my diabetes medicine and medicine for my vascular situations, all my problems, I'm going to go out and riot and go out and protest. No, I'm going to stay and listen to my Alexa, play Audible.
Resuming teachings of the Buddha from Audible.
5. When the factor of awakening ease is present in oneself, one is aware ease.
Alexa, stop. Hopefully, some of this will sink in to my thick, insane brain, who just bipolarly overreacts to everything and gets upset and gets obsessed. And the reason why I could never get through life. I never got through law school. I had trouble staying in school. I did get a master's degree in political science, but some people would say that's proof that I'm insane. I tried. I was in market research. I thought I was doing everything right, but I just slowly unraveled. Calamari and absinthe. Yeah, well, that's one progress. I don't drink anymore. I haven't had calamari in a while either. But I'll tell you, I think that was it for when I realized that the pleasures of this world were not so pleasurable. After about half a bottle of absinthe and a couple plates of calamari, I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning and I missed the toilet. No, it was. Oh, this is all. It wasn't coming out that end yet. Thank God. That really would have been a mess. But yeah, calamari. It looks like little babies or brains or something. It looked like there was brain all over the floor. I mopped it up. This was 10, 15 years ago. I don't think it's been 15 years since I quit drinking, but that was the sign that I was looking around, my head hurt, looking for a towel to clean up the calamari with, thinking, this is what you do for a good time? Because I love Italian food, and I used to like absinthe, but this is the result. This is the result, in a nutshell, of having a good time. You know, you wake up with herpes, or you're blind, or your body slowly dies from lung cancer because you smoked for 60 years. Hitler loved power. He had to shoot himself in the head. Look at Jeffrey Epstein. He enjoyed shtucking little girls. And look how he ended up. He either hung himself, which is unlikely, or someone whacked him. But that is what the pursuit of pleasure to me. Jeffrey Epstein, that fat fuck, he thought life was just raping starlets. And what could they do, right? Abusing his power. This is what corruption and all suffering comes from desire. These men felt themselves to be successful. Look at Donald Trump, that fat Cheeto. Or Bill Clinton. Let's not just pick on one group. Let's make sure that we not be prejudiced, because our Puff Daddy, I don't want to be racist, but it's everywhere. It's not just white people that are evil. Who else can I think of that's corrupt? Even I think anybody that falls in love with power or sex or even food. Look at this. This is me. I love food. And this is, you could say that it was sin, but it's like all suffering comes from desire. And I think it's a little counterproductive to think, oh, poor me. Oh, I'm so wicked. Please forgive me, God. It's like, this is just the trap of life, of carnal life, of chasing your desires. And I'm this is do as I say, not as I do. You give me $1 million and I'd probably be in Vegas right now looking for showgirls. And absinthe or champagne. Can you mix champagne and absinthe? God help me. God, thank the Lord that I don't have lots of money at my disposal. God only knows what stupid things I would do with it. But I'm trying to train my brain for the first time to find thoughts and prayers and something other than atheists. There's nothing out there. There's no one to help you. You're all alone. All you have is science and logic. And if you're a dumbass and you're not Richard Dawkins or Neil deGrasse Tyson, you're pretty much fucked, because I think stupid people need, and I count myself as a stupid person, need some guidance. Alexa, play Audible.
Resuming teachings of the Buddha from Audible.
When ease is not present in oneself, one is aware ease is not present in me. One is aware.
So I'm going to stop watching the news. I'm going to stop connecting with the world, because I don't think there's anything positive I can do about it.
6.
And I could be wrong. I mean, I doubt Donald Trump is going to make the world a better place. God help us. But am I right? I mean, look at when people try to make the world a better place. Did defunding the police or legal reform help, letting all those criminals out on the street? I mean, it's not like Trump. I mean, the conservatives don't have a point. I think we, and I count myself as someone on the center left, I think we went haywire with a lot of this stuff. You know, I'm for gay marriage and treating everybody tolerant, but 32 genders and giving hormones that ruin kids' bones to 8-year-olds? What were we thinking? And just letting the floodgates allow people to flow across the border. Whose idea was that? There are real problems that we helped create. No, I don't. I think it's a situation like Germany in 1932. Germany had problems. People were literally starving in the streets. Now, was Hitler the solution? No! He said, give me Germany for 5 years and you won't recognize it. And they stuck that quote in the ruins of Berlin when the United States and the Soviet Union conquered Germany after one of the world's the most horrible war. And that's my point. It's not as if the world that we helped create was perfect. And I think maybe we had to go in reverse, or more moderate policies would have been in line.
That is how to
But what we have a
practice
situation
observation
here
of
is that we,
objects
instead of that,
regardless
we've gotten this Hitler-esque or Franco or Mussolini type leader
how monks
that's going to go
does the
way too
practitioner
far.
remain
And
established
instead of
in
taking a little
observation of the divine
scalpel, a
truth.
surgical scalpel to the problems that
Practitioner is
existed,
aware, this is
he's
suffering
going to take a
as it
butcher's
arises.
knife.
One is aware, this is the cause
But
of
do I have the
suffering
answers
as
to
it
the
arises.
world's problems?
One is
God,
aware,
no.
this is the end
If you
of
put me in
suffering
charge,
as
I'd
it
probably
arises.
make things worse.
One is aware,
Things weren't
this is
that
the path
bad.
which leads
Inflation
to
was
relief
about
suffering as it
2.5% down from 10.
Monks,
GDP per capita
one
growth
practices
was
in the
like
four establishments of
1.5%. He
London
brought it up to
for 7
about 3.
years
He doubled
and
it.
expect one of two
And
fruits.
unemployment
The highest
remained
understanding
between
is very
4 and
but it remains a
4.5%.
residue of affliction.
I mean, I know inflation was bad and a lot of people were hurting. We have to acknowledge that's why people voted for Trump. But if you want to look at it objectively from an objective economic situation, they weren't that bad, at least compared to other industrial nations, which are also in bad shape. COVID really did a number.
Or can attain the fruit of no return.
Do I have any political answers? No. I think we're going to go through a rough patch now because things got bad and society is overreacting with someone like Trump. I really think it's an overreaction. God, I just hope he leaves my Social Security alone, or I am dead in the water. I'm sorry. Ignore me. I'm itching my nose. Oh God. Ooh, what is that? Ooh. I think I've got a cold. Ugh.
Fifth of the matter. Suppose, friends, a person in need of sound timber, in quest of sound timber, going about searching for sound timber, should come upon a mighty tree upstanding, all sound timber.
Alexa, stop. Okay, so I'm going to learn the lesson of what to do with a mighty tree when I need wood. This stuff's 2,500 years old. It's like, that's the thing. See, we've known the answers to the world's problems. The middle way. That's the whole thing with Buddhism. Not extreme. Don't be an extreme aesthetic and deny yourself and walk around in a dirty diaper and eat dirt. And don't indulge yourself in all of the world's pleasures because they will destroy you. You know, like absinthe and calamari at 4 o'clock in the morning and you're heaving your guts out into the toilet. Oh boy, was that fun. You'd think, I mean, it was like 65 years, I had an epiphany. You know, maybe having a good time is pointless because you always end up this way. Oh, you always end up having to get a shot of penicillin or you're on herpes medicine the rest of your life. I mean, not me, thank God. But I know a lot of people that their pursuit of pleasure led them to getting some god-awful disease. And then people go, well, the Christians are right. Well, you know, Buddha was around like 500 years before that, and the Hindus had kind of figured that out 3,000 years before Jesus Christ was even born. I mean, Alexa, what's the oldest religion in the world?
From worldatlas.com. Hinduism is generally believed to be the world's oldest religion and was founded more than 4,000 years ago in the Indian subcontinent.
Okay, 6,000 years ago. Now, I'm not saying that I believe in the caste system or all those crazy gods, but what I'm saying is people basically had it figured out that self-indulgence was not a good idea 6,000 years ago, but people are still doing it because we're stupid. And I have to count myself one of those because calamari, oh, that would be a good one. Calamari and absinthe. That's what I'm going to put into the search engine. All suffering comes from desire. Whatever pleasures we are seeking in this world, we should realize that they're an illusion. We should concentrate on the middle way. I guess that's if you're a baker, you should try to be a good baker. If you're an investor, you should try to be an honest investor. You know, the Calvinists kind of had it down. You just lead not a mediocre, but a normal life. You have a family. It's like Hollywood is kind of an example of how the illusion of life. They're chasing money and power and fame and big houses and and fun. And look at how messed up their lives are. Is it really something to aspire to in politics? Is anybody really making anything any better? I'm talking about everybody, whether they be MAGA people or these the woke. I think the woke thing has taken a big hit, and you know what? I'm glad, and I think that's why the Democrats lost. Instead of concentrating on meat and potatoes issues and worrying about things like daycare or parental leave for workers with sick kids, or housing, or the price of food, or health care, or medical insurance, or wages, all these things that affect everybody. I'm not saying we should ignore certain groups and discriminate against them. I'm saying is when you concentrate on identity politics, you're dividing people. And we should, I mean, you could be an elected gay black official, but it's like I saw Morgan Freeman talking to Morley Safer. He was talking to some newscaster, and the newscaster said, "How do you feel about African History Month?" And he says, "I think it's stupid." And he looked at the interrogator, the news interviewer, and he says, "Do you think there should be a White History Month?" And the guy goes, "Well, I'm Jewish." And he says, "Okay, even better. Do you think there should be a Jewish History Month?" And was it Morley Safer? I don't know. The guy goes, "No." And he says, "Well, why delegate my history to 1 month? African American history is American history. It's all, why separate it? It's all part of the same pattern. We should stop looking at, you shouldn't look at me and say, oh, there's a black man. And I shouldn't look at you and say, oh, there's a Jew. What we should be saying is, there's Morgan Freeman, and there's, I don't know if it was Morley Safer, but whatever his name was. We should stop dividing ourselves into groups and just look at each other as individuals. And I think that was the problem with identity politics. I mean, you can be an African American lesbian who's disabled, and that's your identity. No, you happen to be an elected official who just so happens to be a female African American disabled person. Why do we, and I do it myself too, but I mean, you know who does it most? Nazis. They were the first identity politics. I'm white. That makes me better than anybody else. And everybody followed them down that path, you know. I'm a Jew. I'm a black. I'm Italian. I mean, not that the Italians seem so happy to be Italian, though. I mean, I don't think that's toxic. That's just someone celebrating their heritage. But I think that's different than having a chip on your shoulder and saying, you owe me an apology, or it's us against you, and you have to feel guilty about slavery. I mean, I think we can recognize those things were bad, but I think it's terrible that we divide ourselves into groups. What did Martin Luther King say? You judge somebody by the content of their character, not the color of their skin. But we've lost that. Now we're back to race matters. Everything is racial. So I think that's the whole thing with the left wing. Kind of like the cult. Someone was making an allusion to the Cultural Revolution, where you just shut down any discussion, and you start shouting at somebody they're transphobic or homophobic or racist, and you just make it impossible to even discuss any issue reasonably. So I think everybody's made terrible mistakes. I mean, I could go on and on about the right. I don't think it's changed. I think these people still think white men should run things and everybody else should be down on their knees. God only knows, bowing our heads. Look at this Hegseth guy. I mean, he spent half his time drunk and either beating up his wife or raping women he met in bars. That's basically what the right is to me. It's just like, I'm a man and I can do whatever I want. Let's bomb Gaza. Let's bomb the Ukraine. You know, I know the Democrats did that too. We gotta stop looking at things in terms of left and right. There's right and wrong. We got to find out. We got to cut through all the bullshit, and this is why I'm abandoning it all, because I think it's important that we work on ourselves before we even work on the world, and I don't think there's anything to be done, really. I just have to work on myself, I guess, and I never really did. I mean, I pretended I did. I probably won't this time, but I think it's important that at least I try. I try to find something real. Might not be Buddhism, but I think it. I think it helps. I think it helps. It's helping. It's helping calm my brain down. Alexa, Audible.
Resuming teachings of the Buddha from Audible.
But should cut away the outer wood and bark and take that only, thinking it to be sound timber. Then another more discerning person might say, this person surely cannot tell the difference between
Namaste.
sound timber and outer wood and bark.
I got to do something. I'm not even sure what this thing is, but maybe it'll help. Maybe some of it'll sink in.